Hello everyone, I'm Ishmakan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to share a package that I recently made, and the package name is Very Easy Localization. So let me show you as well. So you can see it right here on the pub.dev website. It's named as Very Easy Localization. So basically what it does is that it can generate the localization in JSON with over 100 languages with the help of Google Translate with just a single click. So I have made a CLI tool for that, and we can use this tool to create our localization in multiple languages. So what localization means is that we can create our Flutter applications in different languages for different users worldwide so that they can change the settings from their mobile phone or also inside the app as well. And then they can read the text without any problem. So we are going to cover this plugin in this video. So let me open up the VS Code right here. So as you can see, this is a command line tool. So the structure is pretty easy. We have the bin folder right here, which has our main method. And inside that, I'm calling the very easy localization dot parse. So I've created a class here. So let me show you that as well. So this is the class right here, the main CLI class that we are going to call. So inside our bin folder, we are having this main function that will be called every time we run our application. Okay. Also, inside the CLI, I have created the static variable like version, description, the usage, and basically the usage for the run command. So if you go to the documentation, I have shared that to basically install the plugin, we simply have to run this command inside our terminal, and then we can use by this command right here. So we can use dot pub global run and the name of the package, right? So it will show us some basic options that we can use: help, version, and run. So help basically shows the help, like what this plugin can do. The version shows that what version of CLI you are using, and basically the run command will run the localization process. So the options that we are having for the run command are right here. We can use the help version similar to the main command we were having. Also, we can include the languages. So we can basically pass English, Japanese. So we can pass that in this attribute or argument. Or we can also pass an option for include external files. So that will include the external files. So initially it will read from the lib folder, and we can use this argument to include any other external files. For example, from assets folder or something like that, then we can include any other file as well. For the output directory, it automatically sets to as ve underscore localization. So in this directory, it will store all of our localization. But if you want to override that, then we can do that as well. So that is it. I have made another option as well, which is override directory. So I haven't updated the readme on pub.dev. So basically using this override directory option, you can pass the override JSON as well. So for example, the translated text is not up to the mark, then you can set as override directory and then pass that particular folder, and then it will take the text from that only, the hard coded text passed by you, instead of translating on its own, right? So we can do that as well now. So basically inside our bin folder, we are passing the parse method. So this parse method simply calls the custom arg parser. So this is nothing but a class I created, and here we are using the arg parser only, and we are passing the flags, the help and version flag, and then I am using the add run command here. So that will basically add the run command and add all of these options that we just talked about. Right. Then we are having this parse method as well. So if the command equals to null, then it will simply run the parser dot parse, else it will run the run command dot parse for us. Awesome. So here we are simply passing the parser and then creating a command from it. Then we are calculating the arg results and saving it in a variable known as parser results. Then we are basically checking if the argument is help or it is empty, then we'll show our logo. So logo I have created a basically ASCII text right here. Very easy localization. So we are printing this logo and the usage. So usage is nothing but this box right here. Else if it is for the version, that we are simply going to pass the version. So currently the version is okay. So currently the version is 1.0.3, as you can see in the pubspec.yaml as well. Now, about that, inside pubspec.yaml, as you can see, the SDK it supports is 2.17.3 and onwards. So it supports null safety as well. And the packages that it is dependent on are the args for the arg parsement, etc. We are using the path package as well for the file management and for reading the path and joining the paths. Then we are using the translator package, and this is used to translate any text from one language to another. So we are using this package as well. So basically, it will automatically translate all of the text from our project. So let me tell you how this package works. So let me open up Paint. So basically, what it will do is that, for example, let's suppose this is your Dart project right here. Okay. So this is your Dart project. And what it will do is that it will extract some text. So it will extract all of the strings that is present inside your complete Dart project. And then it will pass that string to our translator. Right. So what this translator will do is that it takes the list of strings and then it will translate that to each language. For example, if the language is Hindi, Japanese, French, etc., then it will automatically translate those strings and then create a dict for format from here. So basically, it will create a dictionary for us. Now, then we can use this dictionary and then store in our local database. So basically, this dictionary will be stored in our local DB. So as you can see, this is our Dart project. This is our Google Translator, and this is our local folder. So the CLI tool will automatically extract all of the strings from the project. Then it will translate those strings into specific or respective languages, and then it will automatically store those strings inside our output directory. So this is the whole summary or what this package does. So basically, we are including these packages as our dependencies. Now we are checking if it is a version, then we are printing the version. Else if the command is run, then we are passing using the get results for run command here and passing the parser. Else we are simply pasting the logo usage and then printing that no command specified and passing that particular arguments. Okay. So if we run the run command, so basically if the user typed dart pub global run very easy localization run. So basically the run command we are having, then it will run this static function. Then it will create a list of external files, output directory path and override directory path. Then we are checking if it is help, then we are passing the help only. Then we are checking if it is include external files. If it is not empty, then we are simply passing those files inside our included external files list. So inside this, we are storing all of the path for different files that we want to include and extract string from and then get the translation for our localization, right? After then, we are simply getting the override directory. So basically the override directory we are getting and storing in our variable. Then I am getting the languages. So initially, if you go to the custom marks, here the default value is English and Hindi. So if you don't pass the languages option, then it will automatically convert those strings inside English and Hindi, but you can easily override the languages parameter as well. So it is basically splitting with the comma and then converting it into a list of string, right? Then we are saving the output directory path as well. So the default value for that is, you can see here, default value is ve underscore localization, right? So this custom args, you can see that inside the lib folder, we are having this very easy localization.dart file where we are simply exporting our CLI Dart file that we are just talking about. So inside the src, we are having this CLI file, and also we have our very easy localization class here, where we have all of our functionalities like extracting all of the strings and translating the strings from one language to another. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Then inside the helper folder, we have a hardcore string finder. So basically, inside this class, we are using regex to get all of our strings from the Dart project. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we have a custom underscore args. So there I created a model known as arg class, where it accepts the name, abbreviation, description, and negatable or not, and the default value if it has any. Then I'm saving these as a static variables right here. So help, argument, version, output directory. So we are using these inside our CLI.dart file right here. And then we have a very easy localization arg. So here we are passing the custom arg parser that we just talked about earlier, right? So after saving all of these, what we are doing is that we are checking if the languages is not empty and the output directory path is not empty. Then we are basically creating some variables like files, like unable to add files, output directory, and lib directory, and does output directory exists or not. So if the output directory does not exist, then it will create that particular folder. Else, it will go on and read the files from the lib files. So basically, it will read recursively and read all of the files and sub files from the subfolders as well. And then we are basically using the where type method and then getting all of the files from the lib files and then adding those files inside a variable. We called it as files variable, right? Then we are checking if the external file is present in included external file. So if the user passed any external file, then we are basically adding that particular file as well inside our files variable. Else, if that particular passed file is not present, then we are simply saying that we are unable to add those specific files, and I'm storing those in a separate list as well. Then I created a list of string variable known as strings, and then I'm printing that finding strings in passed files. So basically, then for each file in files, we are extracting all strings from a file. So you can see that this method takes a file as argument and then returns a list of strings that we are appending inside our strings variable. Pretty easy, right? Then we are printing that this length of string is found in that specific file, right? Then we are simply saying that output file name is this.json. So we'll replace the curly brackets with the language that the user passed. So for language and languages, it will simply run. So for example, we run for English, Hindi, French. Then it will run this process for English, then Hindi, then French, right? So it will calculate the file name as well and then create a output file object by using the path.join method and then passing that path to the file class, right? After then we simply pass the language and then the time it is modified inside these keys. And then we are using again get all string translation. So we are passing the strings and then the translation, and then it will return all of these string in the specific translated value or that specific language. Then we are passing those, then we are adding those inside our JSON translations map. After then we are checking if the override directory path is not empty. If it is empty, then we'll go next and save that particular JSON translation to the output file that we are having. If it is not empty, then we are simply reading the content of the files and then we are simply JSON encode. So we are converting that to a map and then adding those to our JSON translation so that it can override the keys and the translated values, and we can add those override JSON strings to our output folder. So this is basically the complete very easy localization package that I've worked on, and it's quite interesting. So let's just do a quick demo of this, right? So what I'll do is that first, to use this package, what you have to do is that open up command prompt and go to the pub.dev, and here just copy this command and paste it right here. So it will install the latest version for you. Now, as you can see that the current Dart version that I'm using is 2.12.2, and the package supports with 2.17.3 onwards. So what we can do is that I have another package as well inside my D drive. So basically what I can do is that I can use is present inside D drive. So I can paste that, and then I can simply copy the command and then paste it. So it will install the very easy localization, the latest package. So I just push the code for the version 3 right here. You can see in the channel log as well. So I put the override directory added as well. So we have successfully installed our package. Then what we can do is that simply open up any of your Flutter project. So let me choose one. So as you can see, this is an Instagram clone that I created previously on YouTube. So let's just localize this as well. So what we have to do is that open up the CMD right here and then simply run the command. This is for the basic use. When you run that, it will say that very easy localization, and then it will run the basic usage. So we have to run the run command right here, right? So we can run that, and we can pass some specific arguments like I told earlier. So like inside the lib folder, inside the CLI, we have these commands that we can pass. So I can pass the languages. So let's say English, Hindi, Japanese. So let's just in Hindi and Japanese, right? Then we can pass the output directory. So it will automatically create a directory for me, that is v_localization. So let's just run now. So I click enter. Now it says that 12 string found in the Dart project. I said okay. So let me just open the folder and wait for it. So it is translating from Hindi inside here, inside the folder. So you can see this v_localization folder, and it has created our Hindi localization and the Japanese as well, and it is completed. Now if I open this up, you can see that all of this has been translated to the Hindi language. So you can see that here we have view all comments, and it is translated into Hindi. Add a comment, and it is also translated into Hindi. Flutter demo, and it is also translated into Hindi 1 day ago. So all of the strings that it can find are automatically translated, right? So what this represents is that wherever inside Flutter we are using string interpolation, that means we have these $mark, and then we are passing some variable here. Then it will automatically convert that into these curly brackets so that we can use with the easy localization package and then pass the variable. So if you go to the easy localization package, it's another package which can be used for the localization part, and it is very well written and very popular as well. And what it does is that you can simply pass the folder, and then it has the language code and the extension. It can read JSON, CSV, XML, all of that, right? And then what it can do is that if you go down here, you can see that we are having these. So we can automatically pass the arguments in this array, and then it will automatically add those respectively. That is why we can use the easy localization package with the very easy localization package. So very easy localization can generate these JSON, and then we can use inside of a Flutter app with the easy localization package, right? So you can see that we didn't have a lot of string, but like I have this one. So it is converted into Hindi with the help of Google Translate. Similarly, we have for Japanese. So if I can open up for Japanese, all these strings are converted into Japanese language. Now, for example, one of these strings are converted incorrectly, then what I can do is that I can simply go over to the folder right here, create a new folder, name it anything. So I can have the override localization. And here I can create files. For example, I have a problem in Japanese file. So what I can do is that I can create a new file. Okay. So we have our Japanese file. And then I can simply say that, okay, this add a comment is translated in correctly for me. So you can simply create a JSON and pass that, and then make all of your modifications. So the CLI tool will automatically add this translation instead of from the Google Translate. So to make it possible, what you can do is that when you run the command, you can simply pass another argument saying that override directly, and then you can simply pass the folder name ve override localization. Like that you can do, and then it will take it from there, right? So that is it. I wanted to show you in this video, this plugin, this package that I just created. If you like this, then make sure to like it on the pub.dev as well. And if you are interested in the source code, then you can simply go to the home page as well, and then check out the source code here as well. And make sure to start the repo and like this video if you found this package and the video content informative and helpful. So thank you so much for watching. See you next.